Hello, sirs. All right. Well, we got a few people in here already, 10 or so. So, welcome to the first live chat in like fucking weeks. Lots of traveling again. Visited a lot of cool people, including some that are in this chat. And Javier, hello. Stephen, Jason Hedrick, good to see you again. John, Jeff, ain't heard from you in a minute. Matt, hello. Troy, Colt, you guys, hello. Okay, so this week's live chat brought to you by XS Sites. I stopped and visited those fellas last week. Must have been like a week ago yesterday. And Turtle, hello, sir. Crystal, hello. Zach Bush, hello. Stopped and saw the guys from XS. Got a tour of the place. I've known John and Zach for 6 or 7 years, probably. First time I actually got in the building and got a tour and whatnot. Got some terrible news. My Smith & Wesson 586 does not have a removable front sight, so I couldn't put big dots on it. TJ, hello, sir. But while I was there, I got some tools from them, like the Glock sight pusher, which I'm going to use on a project, and their AR-15 armorer's block. It's a lower and upper armorer's block. The spot that it was was interesting for me to use was with the upper without a barrel on it. So instead of using like the Midwest Industries upper receiver rod, it slides into the barrel extension on the barrel and doesn't actually hold the upper, holds it by the barrel, which is a super solid way to hold it. But if you just put an upper on it without the barrel, it'll slide back and forth. It won't rotate because of the keyway, but so I used it to put some stuff on Project Celine, and it worked well. But the other thing that I think I'm going to use the Glock pusher for, thanks to the wonderful folks at XS Sites, is all these airsoft Glock 17s. Well, not all of them, but half of them are going to have big dots on them. They decided they wanted to sponsor the gunfight diagnostics class by taking half of the guns and putting big dots on them so that students taking gunfight diagnostics could compare and contrast over the course of the 2 days and 1 night of big dots versus standard Glock notch and post. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool of them. Adam Hall, hello, sir. Javier, like, there ain't much about Israel that doesn't suck. I mean, it's a big pile of suck. Just sucks less than some other countries in the region. Well, pretty much all the other countries in the region. If Israel were anywhere but the Mideast, it'd be the laughing stock of like the Western world. But since it's in the Mideast, it, you know, with like big fish, small pond. So, oh, Turtle, you noticed the hat. So there we go. We got our thanks to XS. They sponsored tonight's live chat as well as Gunfight Diagnostics. Now, I know you're saying, but Gary, you haven't run that class at all in 2023. Well, your luck. It's going to happen in 2024. It is on the schedule. And you guys here tonight are going to get a sneak preview at the schedule. That is on my list of things to talk about. Going down my list here. Just bear with me. That's where is there it is. Okay. Man, there's a bunch of stuff on that schedule there. There is things left this year. There are no more live fire. Live fire is done for Tremis Dynamics, which means that most likely I don't need to shoot another live round for the duration of 2023. And you all know I've been on the no live fire challenge for 2023. So sometime around Christmassy time, Christmas to New Year's, in there somewhere during the Yule season, I might go shoot some drills and post the results and see how a year of just dry fire with very limited live fire. I'm going to guess under 200 rounds of pistol and under 200 rounds of rifle, just for what I need to do at work. We'll see how that equates to skill degradation after 12 months. Vic, nice username, by the way. Repping the shirt. Thank you very much. The gunfight diagnostics class will be held in Sugarloaf in the, I want to say, May timeframe. Shinde, hello, sir, to you as well. So this year, though, there is still some force on force left in Paducah, Texas, December 2nd and 3rd. We're doing fish 1 and 2. I'm gonna put you the link up right here. Cow. There is the link if you are interested in taking fish in Texas. That's December, what did I say, 2nd, 3rd. Also, there is I don't know if I copied the link for this. Nope, of course I didn't. December 9th here in Scranton, back home in PA, last PA class of the year. We're doing a fish workshop. So that is a fighting in someone's house workshop. You do not have to be an alumni of the fish classes to take it. So it's not like it's like Fish 6 or anything. It is just a workshop on its own. And hopefully we'll get some reps in on things we know how to do, maybe get a few views of ways to do things for things we don't know how to do. And if you like what you got, maybe you want to come take the full actual fish classes. That's 1, 2, 3. Probably not going to do 4 again for a little while. And maybe something else. Tom Hollaby, hello, sir. Fish 4 is the only force on force, resisting opponents in every class. And with the limited ability to source UTM ammo, that will probably not, we probably won't have Fish 4 in the schedule until a source or alternative becomes more readily available. But the workshop, we're going to run a lot of Blackbeards. Speaking of Blackbeard, see how I did that tie-in? I stopped by Mantis last Thursday and saw like where they make stuff and like how the production, and talked to one of the engineers and the CEO of the company. And I can't talk about things they have in the pipeline, like NDAs and that kind of stuff. But I did handle a prototype of something that I'm going to buy. And maybe they'll send me one for T&E, but if not, I'm going to buy it. And then they told me about some other products that are worth my money. So I can tell you, they'll be making some announcements at SHOT Show. So you can expect me to, go do a video with them at SHOT Show because there's some cool shit coming. Oh, Adam recommends fish 3 and 4. Certainly 3. 4 will be difficult to get into. And I have an announcement for something when we get to the announcement phase. So I went and visited the folks at Mantis as well, and that was pretty good. And I also stopped, like, spur of the moment at HRT Tactical. That was on Friday on my way home. I've been running their arc belt for a few months, and I actually picked up the rest of the stuff, like the other things you could put on the belt. I got the inner belt, the outer belt, and I upgraded the buckle from a G hook to a Cobra buckle when I got the belt. That's how I've been running it. I also picked up They have some raw Tegris in the back. I picked up some of the sleeves to cover that, and one of their pistol mag pouches. So once I put the pistol mag pouch on and the other cover pieces, I'll do some more social media sharing of the belt, especially since I've had it for a little while and can have better view of it. But I actually just had a fella today ask me, "Hey man, what's the new hotness in fucking war belts?" And that's what I recommended, was the HRT arc belt. I went up. I recommended it to Tony at Big Iron's Hair Coating. I haven't seen Tony in a little while. He's looking good, by the way. Trimmed down, lost some weight. Got some lasering done. Got some logos on some blowers, and did some deep lasering for an SBR for Project Celine. So I was up there doing that. He also did another cool project with me, and I guess I can share the picture. So I mentioned earlier I got a Smith & Wesson 586, which is a 357 Magnum. I think it's a K frame. I don't quote me on that because I'm not up on all the frames. I know there's a J frame and then some other ones that are bigger. So I decided, since it's a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, that it needed its own custom laser engraving. And for those of you that know my unhealthy obsession with Bud Dwyer, you will appreciate this photo that I am about to put on the screen. So yes, it says, "Hey man, nice shot," which is my homage to my favorite politician of all time. That is the title of a Filter song, and Filter wrote the song about Bud Dwyer. So hence the reason that my classy, royal blue fucking Smith & Wesson walnut handled revolver now has a Filter song lasered on the side of it. While I was there, I also talked about another idea. I'm gonna give away some Bud Dwyer commemorative coins, collectible coins. Yes, there's a hole in the middle. I think I'm gonna take a pile of them and laser them Bud Dwyer 2024 and give them out as collectible commemorative campaign coins. All right. So that was pretty interesting. Interesting day today. I also finalized some scheduling here in PA. In fact, my private Google Calendar has the Tremis Dynamics schedule filled up through September, the beginning of September, and Andy class in October. But I'm going to add something else to September. I just haven't figured out what yet. And something else in October or two, travel classes maybe. But I guess that's the big announcement part. So I might as well hit on over to those. So, and I'm going to actually go through my calendar, Google Calendars on this laptop over here, and just give you guys the rundown of when stuff is. It'll be live on Patreon tomorrow, like in text form, and probably tomorrow's Thursday, and then probably Friday over on the alumni page, and then I'll start making like Facebook events over the weekend, so that the rest of the world can see what's up and where it's at. It's not over on tremisdynamics.com yet. A couple of them are kind of snuck in there in the events page, but it's not on the calendar. But things that are happening back here in PA, things we've added. We are doing a shooting and moving carbine workshop, which I ran in Tennessee last month, I think it was. We are also doing a shooting and moving pistol workshop here in PA. We're going to run a few carbine-centric cover clinics aka the science of using cover, concealment, and barricades. I think we're going to run 2 of those live fire, and then we're going to do cover clinic carbine diagnostic, which means you'll need to own an airsoft rifle or provide your own UTM ammo. Not buying from us because I don't have any to sell. And we will do a cover clinic with carbines against resisting opponents. So all the things we do in the other cover clinics, which we just barely touch on in dynamic carbine. Like I would say I have currently 32 hours of Klaus is not excited about something. Probably 32 hours worth of cover clinic blocks of instruction. So we're going to do 2 of those this year in PA, get into the depths of how to use cover. And then we're going to do one against resisting opponents. Obviously, we're bringing back gunfight diagnostics, or the master class is going to be here in PA. The other thing that I think will be interesting to some folks, for people who have taken Fish 1 and Fish 2, we are doing a Fish 5 live fire here in Sugarloaf. We are going to put up some thresholds of different types, and then do like glass house rooms with like snow fence. So you won't see the room until you've gone through the threshold, and then the room will just be a see-through room inside our 3-sided bay. So we'll still be able to shoot at things, and we don't need a shoot house to do some live fire fighting in someone's house. Jeff says that gunfight diagnostics is eye-opening. It certainly is. And so the way we're doing it this year, we're going to run Fish 5 live fire on a Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to run that in Sugarloaf, and then the following day we're going up to Scranton to run Fish 3, which is the force on force low light. So we'll be doing flashlight stuff the following day. So that'll happen. I'll tell you guys the dates here in a minute. In addition, we're also obviously doing the science of dynamic violence with Sunny right before the muster. So that's new. And the Crucible, which is an invite-only event on the 4th day, right after the science of dynamic violence. And we're going back to Del Rio, and I don't have a name for that class yet because I got to think of something clever. But we're going to show up to the range Friday evening, do some safety stuff, get a general introduction to the class, talk about a few principles, grill out, and then we are staying there at that range in the clubhouse. We're going to set it up with some cots, sleeping bags. Those will be on the gear list. And we're going to stay at that range from Friday evening when we meet until Sunday afternoon. So there'll be things in the daylight and things not in the daylight, and it'll be a long, involved few days. Jason, a bunkhouse. It's, what works out great is usually the first 3 or 4 people that ask me, I put them up in my home. I got a guest room over there we call the Master Suite because Josh Masters has used it the most. And then this room that I'm in, I take all the camera shit, pile it all away, and throw down air mattress and a cot. I also can usually squeeze an air mattress in my office downstairs. So I hook some brothers up. Oh, look, I still have the automatic UW gear link popping up from the last time. You're welcome, John. Colt, the Del Rio class will be amazing. It'll be pretty awesome. We're going to do some live things, some dry things, some mantis things, maybe UTM things, because I got to be careful about how much UTM I use, until I find a reliable source or alternative. Let's see, going down my list here. Yep. So those are all the. Oh, and we're doing another Mainville. Definitely, if you're local, and you want like a half of a day zero class, we're doing one in Mainville at the club there. They were generous enough to hook us up for the muster, so I was generous enough to donate some time to do a basic introduction to pistolas course. Look at that. Vic's got an unheated garage. Luckily, most of the PA classes are when the weather isn't terrible because, well, I got to be out in it too. Not a problem, Colt. I assumed that you would be one of the ones that wanted to come. Also, we're going to Montana for dynamic carbine in July, and we're going to Florida for dynamic carbine in February. So we got stuff happening there as well. In fact, I'll just open the calendar. Let me see. So, like I said, December 2nd and 3rd, we have fish in Paducah, Texas. 9th, we have a fish workshop here in PA. January, end of January, SHOT Show. If anybody's going, we can link up there. February, somewhere in that week, during the week, I'll be doing the Great American Outdoor Show. Then 16, 17, 18 of February in Leesburg, Florida, we're doing dynamic carbine. Then March 1st and 2nd here in Scranton, we're doing fish 1 and 2. March 17th, we're doing a carbine cover clinic. April 13th, fish 5 live fire. April 14th, fish 3 night fishing. I know you're like, why aren't we doing them the other way around? It really doesn't make a difference. You have to be an alumni of fish 1 and 2 to do fish 5. You also have to be an alumni of fish 1 and 2 to do fish 3. But it was what days, what ranges were available, why they are in that order. Then 27th, 28th of April is Bug the Fuck Out 20. May 4th is Gary Marr Masterclass here down at the Ben Franklin Range. May 11th, Mainville intro course. May 17th through 19th, the NRA annual meeting in Dallas. May 25th, shooting and moving pistol workshop. June 8th and 9th. That's 8th during the day, 8th at night, and 9th during the day. Here in PA, we're doing gunfight diagnostics. June 22nd, we're doing another carbine cover clinic. It's not the same as the first one. Like, it's a series. Then July 6th, 7th, and 8th, we're doing dynamic carbine in Kalispell, Montana. The weekend is the 2-day course, and then we're adding day 3 on Monday. Then later in July, 30, 31, plus August 1st, we're doing Science of Dynamic Violence, a collaborative class between Sunny and I. Then on the 2nd, we're doing the Crucible. Then on the 3rd of August is the All Hands Muster. Then the 4th, Sunny is doing a conflict resolution class in Danville at Rock God. But I also have the range reserved for I want to say surprise instructor to do a live fire class in Sugarloaf, but I can't announce it yet because they're not ready to announce it. Then at the end of August, the 30th and 31st, plus the 1st and 2nd of September, that's Labor Day weekend, we are doing Dynamic Week 6 Carbine Madness. And then September 15th is the shooting and oh, I have it listed wrong there. I got to edit that. Bear with me. We are doing the Cover Clinic Carbine Diagnostic class. So we have until potential students have until September to pick up an airsoft version of a rifle that they would use. Douchebags, brother Dick. Man, ain't heard from you in forever. I hope you are doing well. This cold season, we need to get together. Like, there is just no reason. I was actually in your county Monday doing some stuff for my wife. She and I went up and picked up stuff for her work. So I couldn't really arrange it then, but we need to make that happen. Uncle Guns, hello, sir. So then I got some other things planned for a little bit in September. October 11, 12. Oh, yes. It's 3 days and 1 night. It's so like technically 4 dates on the calendar. Columbus Day weekend. 11, 12, 13, 14 is the immersive class. That's all I'm going to call it for now until I come up with a cool name. And there'll be something between that and the diagnostic cover clinic. I just don't know what, and I definitely know where, but I can't announce that yet. Yep, that's it. And then nothing for November or December next year. So lots of shit on the calendar. Once we get out of snow weather here, there's multiple things every month. So like you guys that are in the Warrior Lodge, you definitely have the ability to get your fucking money's worth next year. In fact, there's still an opening for the Warrior Lodge. I forgot about that. And I know you're like, but I didn't write all that shit down, Gary. I don't know when it is. It's all right. If you're on Patreon, you'll see it tomorrow in print. If you're not on Patreon, you can see it in the alumni page Friday in print. And if you're not either of those, by the weekend, you'll see them on the calendar. And I'll start making Facebook events. Speaking of alumni, I have some new things coming strictly for alumni, but you have to earn them. So I have done a lot of research into the value that Tremis Dynamics gets from you guys leaving reviews and where you leave them. So I think we have a Yelp page, and if you leave a review on there, it doesn't seem to do fuck all for me. Same as if you report me to the Better Business Bureau. Also doesn't seem to affect me, negative or positive. However, the few places that it does, over on the tremisdynamics.com website, under each product, like you signed up for a class, you can leave a review. Like I'd probably like 1 to 5 stars or something like that. I don't have any reviews. I think it's turned on. Don't quote me on that. I am going to get it turned on. That helps my website some through Google's, like when the spiders reach out into the products, having reviews or makes them rate it higher. So when people search it, so I'm going to give any alumni who leaves a review of a class there, like the 1 to 5 star thing. I don't care if you put 1 star, whatever, but what you feel is the truth. I'm getting some stickers that say Tremis Dynamics alumni, and it's like black ink on like a holographic metallic background. That's yours for free. Like I covered the cost of the sticker and the postage to mail it to you. But wait, there's more. If you leave a review on my Facebook page, you'll get the same decal, but in black and white instead of black and metallic. And then third, like, you know how when you type in a company's name on the Google machine, there's a spot where you can leave Google reviews. I leave a fair amount of those. Like I have some sort of ranking on Google for giving reviews. If you give one over there, I will mail a patch that is like the size of a flag patch and says Tremis Dynamics alumni in black and white and yellow. So you can get the trifecta. And so all I'm going to ask people to do is when they leave a review, let me know. And if you leave 3 reviews, I'll put all 3 things in one fucking envelope and mail it to you. And if you do one on all 3, I'm thinking about getting a t-shirt with the same logo on it, and not giving it to you because since I don't get shirts made in bulk and they're print to order, I'd go fucking broke. Like I'd lose all my profit buying you guys shirts. But I'm thinking about making it like a hidden link. And if you wanted a shirt, just letting you buy it at my cost, which is the price I charge for all the shirts. I just round it to the nearest dollar. So like if they charge, 16, 13, you pay $17. But then if someone does all 3, you can have an alumni shirt. You can buy an alumni shirt. I'll make nothing off of it, but don't care. So that's my alumni plot to also get some reviews, because it turns out more so on the Googles than the Facebooks. So with the product reviews helping on the automated end and the business reviews over on like Google Maps type place, like everybody that leaves a review on Google for my business gets me the same amount of Google pushing it out there as if I paid Google $75 for ad space. So like me giving you a fucking $8 patch is super beneficial to me. And you literally got to type a few words and you get a fucking patch. So win-win for everyone. Sonny, hello, sir. I figured there'd be some folks in for the swag and they could muster up a review if they were getting a patch. I just don't care what you put in the review. I mean, as long as it's like the fucking truth. But if somebody says, oh, it was only a 3-star class, well, fucking put 3 stars in that. Whatever. And you're like, Gary swore too much. Okay, whatever. But yeah, patches and stickers. Those are coming. All right. All right. That's everything on my list that I needed to talk about, other than the question part at the end. Now, some people are going to say, once I listed the schedule, Gary, where's Dynamic Pistol? Like, I don't. The only pistol class is the shooting and moving pistol workshop and some 4-on-4s. Yep, this was the year of the pistol, and this was your year to get a bunch of pistol stuff. In fact, I did pistol classes here. Dynamic Week was all pistol. I added a new pistol class this year here, and I traveled a couple times for pistol. This was the pistol year. Next year's the carbine year. And if you notice, there's a lot of carbine shit. And then maybe the next year we'll do shotgun. Nah, probably not going to do. No, it's not going to happen. All right, so now I guess we're going to go right to the questions. I should have opened the Facebook page and made sure nobody asked the question in the spot I have for questions in the last hour or so, because I got to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to, like, the last I looked was this morning. Trimless Dynamics. Go there. I got 2 other questions that came in through a different channel than on the Facebooks. There it is. We'll see if anybody has in the discussion. All right, no other questions there. So I got 2 questions that came. Oh, Troy, what is the vetting process for getting into the science of dynamic violence? What did we put on the website? So I don't want to say the wrong thing, because Sonny and I came up with what we thought was a oh, yep, we didn't put a specific list. So it's not a beginner level course. If you have taken other training from either Sonny or I, you're probably good to go. If it's from somebody else, just shoot me a message and let me know what you took and who it was with, and we'll figure it out from there. I've done this on one of my previous employers where we had prerequisites where like you have to have taken this or equivalent, and like I don't fucking know everybody and what's equivalent. I've actually called other instructors to ask them, like, hey, you have a student that took this class with you, and they want to use that as one of our prerequisites. What did it entail? So if you have not taken prior classes with Sonny or I, and if it's with either of us, just let me know and we'll figure it out from there. I got a hunch. I mean, I don't know all the things Sonny has done, but I know all the things that I've done. So if you took stuff with Sonny, Sonny will give you the thumbs up or the thumbs down. If you've taken something with me, I'll give you the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Oh yeah, there, Sonny answered it. Not a newbie, not stupid, and not a Fed. I'm glad he put the not a Fed part because I was already at the not a Fed part. I actually had a press release and everything. You didn't even meet the grooming standards, Tom, for a Fed. So, where was I? Look at that. Some of you guys are already giving Facebook reviews. I saw a little pop-up on the screen. So the two questions I had, man, we're at 8:40 already. And you guys feel free to pipe in as well. I mean, I have my answers, but I love a good bit of dialogue. This is what I got in the as verbatim. Let's say shit hit the fan has just happened and everything you have at home is all you have. You have a rifle and a pistol. Let's just say 5.56 rifle and a 9mm pistol. How many rounds should you ideally have in your stockpile? So as it's written, and then I clarified with the person who asked the question. As it was written, whatever the shit hitteth the faneth moment has started right now. What should you have? My answer is, it depends. I know you're all shocked. Oh, thank you, Windows Support Assistant. If you have some type of loadout that you would have, 3 mags, 5 mags, 8 mags, I don't know what the fuck you would wear on your body. But whatever that is, you should have that full. So let's just say it's 5 mags because 5 is an easy number to work with mathematically wise. You should have those 5 mags in your gear and 1 in the gun. And then you should have 6 more mags. That's 1 extra for the gun and 1 to reload that chest rig for that gun. If your house has 3 rifles in it, then you should have that amount of magazines for every one of those rifles. So your what did he call it? Stockpile should all be loaded magazines, and it should be enough to take a rifle and the support ammo to a fight, enough to restock that after the fight, and you should have that for every rifle in the house. And I know you're like, but Gary, I can only take 1 rifle. And you might take 2. You might take your bolt gun for the real long stuff or whatever, you know. But if there are other people in your house, you might be handing them a rifle and they may want a loadout as well. Or your fucking brother-in-law might be in for Thanksgiving and he doesn't even like guns until the fucking goblins are at the door. And all of a sudden he's like, I like the guns. Give me the guns. And you're like, here's a rifle and a chest rig with magazines in it. So that is my, once it has started, you need to have that. That's my minimum for shit you need to have. If you're talking about now to get up through the shit hits the fan moment, my answer is all of your fighting calibers, 10,000 rounds. So in his case, he said, what did he say? A 5.56 rifle and a 9mm. He should have 10,000 of each because that's the ammo that I think you can dip into to maintain or increase your proficiency and still have some for when the shitteth hitteth the faneth. And by all means, there's no scientific data to support the 10,000 round number. But if you've got 10 ammo cans full of ammo, you don't have to feel like you can't take any training or do any practice because you won't have ammo for an emergency. And then you can, as you dip into it, you can fill it back up. And if you don't buy ammo by like the case at a time, you're not the most cost efficient way to buy ammo. But I know some folks like, look, I can put $25 a weekend. All right, then you're just gonna buy a box of ammo or two or whatever it works out to be. And then backfill as you can. Of course, I recommend you use Ammo Supply Warehouse to buy your ammo from. And if you use the coupon code, let me make sure I don't fuck this coupon code up. Known associates. Oh, shit. I don't even have it on it. I'm pretty sure it's Tremis10. Get you 10% off, or $10 off any order over $100. Like, how often do you get an ammo discount? Rarely, yet here we give you one. So that was question number 1. That's my answer. If you guys have different numbers, feel free. But don't give me a fucking number and not give me a why. The other question I got was magnifiers for red dots inside. Jason says he laughs at news stories that report 1,000 rounds as a stockpile. I have more than that in my truck all the time. Like, my truck it's parked out front now with 1,000 rounds of 9 and 1,000 rounds of 5.56 in it, so that I never inadvertently end up at the range with no bullets. Like, those ammo cans just stay there. Yes, exactly. So Sonny points out that if you're taking a bunch of classes that require a pretty healthy round count, you'll need to adjust those numbers accordingly. So if your goal is to take, a class a quarter, then you're shooting 2,000 rounds. That means you're going through 8,000 rounds a year. You need to be buying 8,000 more rounds a year and stockpiling more. If it's like a post Sandy Hook moment and you're like, well, I got 25,000 rounds of rifle ammo, you might dip into some of that ammo and not replace it, waiting for the fucking peaks and valleys to go back down to a valley. However, ammo has gone up recently in the last few weeks, mostly because of the federal government and their bullshittery. But I've been telling folks for like the last couple of months, like, you should be buying it now. Like, it might not be the 2016 prices or 2020 prices, but it was pretty good compared to, like, or I should have said 2018 prices. But like 2021 ammo prices were fucking terrible. And last year they were not as terrible. And people didn't listen and they didn't buy ammo, and well, that's on them. How much can your trigger finger curl if you constantly taking 2,000 round classes? Oh, you mean like curls? I was thinking like the degree that it would curl. I don't know, man. It depends how sweet your trigger is. Rich Wright, hello, sir. Rich was the fella kind enough to get me into the Mantis headquarters to see things that I haven't told you about, nor am I going to. So the other question, red dots inside 100 yards, worthless or valuable tool? Or magnifiers for red dots inside 100 yards. Man, I don't know anybody that needs a magnifier for shit inside 100 yards on a red dot. And if you are thinking a magnifier for outside 100 yards, then there's a little bit of a discussion. However, I am fucking squarely in the school of a low power variable optic. And I know people are like, but you can't CQB with a LPVO. You can. And if you doubt that, you can come to a class. And I think that like a magnifier and a red dot isn't lighter than an LPVO. It's not any faster to go from magnified to unmagnified, but I can promise you that if it's a flip to side, it's going to get caught on a lot more shit. And if it's a flip to center, you're going to likely adjust how you interface with the rifle in order to have such a high mount. Not saying that that's incorrect. Most people just don't already do that. And I believe there are some downsides to those super high mounts. Yes, you can get a PVS behind it, and what was that? Our gas mask. However, there are some techniques for shooting on the move that you can't do with that super high mount. And I know I'm going to shoot a lot more often on the move than I am with a fucking gas mask. So, I'm plotting accordingly. So Shinde says, if you have an astigmatism, a magnifier helps immensely. You know, it helps better an etched reticle on a low power variable optic. Mic drop. I know, because I have an astigmatism in this eye, not in this eye. Some of you have noticed that shooting red dotted pistols, sometimes when I'm aiming, I'll turn and aim with the other eye so I get a more crisp dot. I recently looked at a Holosun 4, maybe it was a 507C. So it was like the RMR footprint, and it was on an AK, like up on the Ultimac. And I literally saw 3 separate circles that overlapped, kind of like the Olympic rings, and was like, oh, fuck, my astigmatism has gotten worse. And I instantly switched to left hand, and it was perfect. Circle dot. And I was like, yep, it's me. It's not the optic. The optic was too bright for indoors, and neither I nor the owner of it could get it turned down. So like the buttons didn't react to any pushes. So typical Holosun feature. I now know of it happening at least 3 times to employees of Tremis Dynamics that a Holosun has not responded to button pushes. But so my astigmatism, I thought maybe has gotten worse. However, I came home and picked up a Holosun 512C, like the aim point micro style. And right eye, it was just fuzzy, like it always has been. So obviously their rifle optics are of a higher quality emitter than their pistol optics. And my astigmatism may have gotten worse, but not fucking as bad as I suspected. Javier thinks the LPVO is a way to go. Agreed. Like I've run a 1-8 on a 10-inch gun. So there's that. Stephen points out that the primary arms auto live battery cap is fucking awesome. Both LPVOs I have here now have it on it, and it's worth, they're like $50. That's fantastic. And I know it fits a bunch of optics other than primary arms. There are optics that it doesn't, because it's a different thread pitch for the battery cap. They have other ones in the works for other thread pitches, so they'll fit different. You can add retrofit Auto Live, which is like Shake Awake, to other brands and not just primary arms. It's on its way. They might maybe even be coming up with a Auto Live battery cap for some other non-LPVO, like, red dots that might have a battery cap. Won't work on anything that has a battery tray. Some of them Holosuns have the tray, with the battery, but there might be some battery caps coming for other ones. Love to see that on MRO, because I have a couple of MROs here. The EOTech. So, funny story, Tom. I used to wear glasses for being nearsighted. Like I couldn't see shit far away. So I wore glasses, and my right lens had a cylinder prescription to fix my astigmatism, which is my doc says is pretty slight. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen anybody else's astigmatism, just my own. So when I got PRK, it fixed my nearsightedness, and I can see stuff far away, but it doesn't do anything for an astigmatism, because astigmatism is how far the lens is off of the back of your eye, so that when the lens is focusing the image, it doesn't focus it on the back. It actually starts to come apart again, or it's too close, and like the PRK or LASIK can't fix that. So I noticed the astigmatism more once I stopped wearing glasses. But while I wore glasses and had the astigmatism, EOTech worked way better than all the LED red dots. The holographic was much better. Now that I have the raw astigmatism, the EOTech is maybe a little worse than an MRO, but way better than Holosun. Probably about the same as an aim point, maybe a little better than aim point. But the MRO so far has been the best LED red dot I've looked through. And that probably has something to do with that 1.05 magnification that their one power actually has, because magnified optics tend to be more crisp when you have an astigmatism. Yes, Stephen points out that the primary arms regular red dots are coming with Auto Live now too, a bunch of models. But it'd be pretty cool if they could retrofit that on MRO. That would be the bee's knees. And really, they already have the tech. It just needs to be a housing with a different, like just the diameter be a little bigger with the Trigicon threads. That'd be all right. TJ, I do not use the HD MRO. I have looked through one, but I was indoors, so lighting conditions were ideal. It looked good, but everything looks pretty good indoors. When you're in like a big hall, I was at I saw it at SHOT when it was released, and then like an NRA show, I checked it out, or maybe I didn't at NRA, and I saw it. I was checking out at Great American Outdoor Show this year, and it's pretty sharp and crisp. But I also didn't have my MRO to compare it side by side. And of my two MROs, one of them is a 3-digit serial number, so it's really old, and like it's somewhere around the 20,000 number. I think it was 20,000, maybe it was 70,000. I don't remember. There's a serial number where they upgraded some things like in the coatings and the glass, changed something, and though everyone says, "Oh, those are way better," I'm like, "Well, man, mine are older than that, and they still are pretty good." So, I'd like to have them at the range side by side. I just haven't had one near me to check it out. A couple of folks have had them at class, but man, for the longest time, I've just been bringing LPVO guns. In fact, it wasn't until on my main SBR, it was running on LPVO, and there was some catastrophe with steps and falling down and whatnot here, that the LPVO got twisted like 2 degrees in the mount. And what was awesome was like that the throw lever sticking out the side, like all that torque on it made it slip in the rings before it just broke the scope. That part was cool. However, so I took it off with the idea I got to re-level this, loosen it, re-level it, tighten it back down. And I threw an MRO on the gun to hold me over, and that was over a year ago. And that MRO has just stayed on the gun because it's been too meh. I get to it when I get to it. But that the 1:8 that I had on it is now leveled, and I think I'm going to put it on the new SBR, the Project Celine, which I got some lasering done to today. I got a logo on the side. I'm waiting on Pete at Midwest Industries to get the rail to me, and I need a bolt from Surefire because I don't have one. I have the Pro, and I have the body, and I have the mount, and I don't have the bolt that connects the two, so you can rotate it. So I had to order one of those. And it should be here on, I think it's a Tuesday of next week. And I need a flashlight head for it, which the LEP heads from Z-Bolt. Supposedly today was the restock. So tomorrow I will be making a phone call to find out. And because I have a bunch on order for me and some of the guys. So we should be getting some LEPs shortly. And then as soon as the bolt, the head, and the rail get here, time to spray paint that gun and get her into rotation. That'd be the gun I mosey around with me everywhere. I actually have what I'm going to do. I got another upper here with the old Midwest rail to put on it, and I got a Roscoe barrel. So what I'm going to do is I have somewhere around here is my 16-inch gun. It has a 1-8 on it. I take that 1-8 and put it on that upper, the other 1-8 and put it on my ballistic advantage upper, and I'm going to go shoot them for accuracy side by side after my year of no live fire, and put a head-to-head on the Roscoe to the ballistic advantage. They're very comparably priced at the MSRP, so I'd like to see they're both 10.5-inch barrels. Well, I guess the BA is a 10.3 and the Roscoe's a 10.5. The BA is like an ounce lighter. But they're both like neither one's stainless. The BA is a chrome lined chromoly, and the Roscoe's a nitrided chromoly. So we'll see what they can do head to head. And I figure with a magnified optic on it, it won't be because I have a 2 MOA dot covering 2 inches of aiming point at 100 yards. I can dial that thing up to 8 and use the chevron and be semi-accurate with it, or precise. Oh, Steven wants to see the LEPs compared to the Cloud. Well, you'll be lucky because Tim's got an LEP coming. I have a handheld Z-Bolt here that has the LED head on it, and I'm telling you straight up, that head has more throw than a Cloud does. And the LEP has more throw than an LED. And Blazer is on fucking top of throw. Like, they've got throw down to a fucking science. I didn't even know that BA had a sub MOA guarantee. I bet they do. I mean, if they do, I'm like most barrel companies do a sub, like at least on MOA or lower. That's their claim with quality ammo. And I will say that the BA barrels that I've used, the 10.3s that I have, are as accurate as any fucking gun I own. And that includes like some Noveske barreled stuff and Criterion barreled. So I suspect that they have the guarantee and that it will make the guarantee. Oh, yeah. Plenty good. Plenty good. So, Troy, if you're on there somewhere, your email came through with your training resume, you're good. All right. So those are my 2 questions, answered thoroughly as I can do them. And we are at 1 complete hour of live chat, which is partially abnormal for me. Usually I cut it a few minutes short, but I haven't done one in a couple of weeks because I've been traveling. Next year, I'm not putting all my travel shit fucking back to back to back to back. Bizarre message came through there. So with that, I'm thinking we're going to pop smoke, call for exfil, and et cetera, end this thing, be back next Wednesday. Again, patrons tomorrow, you'll see the class schedule, and as always, patrons get first dibs on signups. I have a soft ceiling on most live fire classes, a hard ceiling on force classes. And that's just because I only got so much fucking gear for force on force. So I usually don't have room to squeeze extra folks in. And like with fish 1 and 2, like fucking there's some late days already. Like more people doesn't make for a better experience. So patrons tomorrow, alumni, you'll see the schedule on Friday. Everybody else, you'll see it on Saturday. And the rest of you who don't give a fuck about any of that, I'll see you here next Wednesday. So with that, you all have a wonderful evening, and take it easy out there.